Hello folks, it's Matthew Miller, the Memorial TV, and yes, here in New Zealand, and yes, the vaccines are here. But according to this news article from News Hub, says that coronavirus high-risk workers who don't get the vaccine could lose job, employment, a lawyer. And yeah, here we go people, let's see what they gotta say. And yes, they're actually here, and they say, oh, if you don't get vaccinated, you could lose your job. They say, no jab, no job. Let's see what they gotta say.
Health and border workers could be fired if they don't get the COVID vaccine. A top employment lawyer says such dismissals would be legally justified if workers are at risk.
And as Madison Reedy reports, some aged care workers are already required to agree to immunisations.
Get the shot, get the shot.
No jab could soon mean no job, at least for...
Yeah, man, if you do get a jab, you won't be able to work because of the mRNA, what they actually put in as well, which I got this note here. It says, so let's get out to the camera there. It says that we should understand and communicate or something. Yeah, so let's just continue on with that first.
Anyone hoping to work at an aged care facility run by Ryman Healthcare, Oceania Healthcare or Arvida.
Part of our policy on hiring is that people agree to have a vaccine and the annual flu jab as well.
That policy only applies to new staff. Existing employees...
Wow, man, that's annoying. Gonna have to... Oh. Where we were?
Health and border workers could be...
Lawyer says enforced existing employees can decline. But a top employment lawyer says employees can decline
to have a vaccine and the annual flu jab as well.
That policy only applies to new staff. Existing employees can decline. But a top employment lawyer says enforced immunisation could soon be commonplace for anyone taking up a high-risk job.
There are employers who are seriously considering taking that step.
So a company could say, no jab, no job.
Yes, they could.
Wow, people. She says no jab, no pain. She says it could. Let's hear that again.
So a company could say, no jab, no job.
Yes, they could. They could say that.
Healthcare workers tend to be pro-vaccine.
Yeah.
But sanctions for not doing so don't sit well with unions.
The most important thing is that people aren't being, their employment isn't being jeopardised, or people aren't, having punitive measures taken against them when they're existing staff.
As the first jab cab off the rank, already some border-related companies have asked for advice about insisting staff be immunised. Air New Zealand won't say if its staff will have to be vaccinated, but the government could get involved.
As a government, we will not be making it compulsory.
Bullshit! You say you ain't gonna make it compulsory. What bullshit? You're gonna be...
As a government, we will not be making it compulsory. However, for our frontline workers, we will be considering whether or not we're meeting our health and safety obligations.
Most of the big businesses I've spoken to say they are encouraging vaccination. Two are allowing staff to make up their own minds. Fonterra and ANZ Bank.
Doesn't cut it.
But this is a moral dilemma for them, and one that Fletcher Building and many others are still grappling with. Madison Reedy, News Hub.
Gosh, man, wow. It doesn't cut it, people. And they say, oh, we won't be making it compulsory. Well, we got the video, so I don't... Well, if you do try and make it compulsory, and we got the video to prove that you're lying, and and this evidence will be used against you if you do try to force that vaccine on us, though. And mate, if you want to get vaccinated, yeah, go ahead, but don't force it on to me. So, listen, I'm going to read this part here, though. Yeah, I'm going to read the first paragraph. Why there's a rush to vaccinate the entire population with a mRNA shot that has not been proven safe in animal trials and long-term trials, nor in pregnant women. Why was a mRNA shot chosen? With prior studies using animal trials found that mRNA shot vaccines inflict autoimmune disease, whereby the immune system starts attacking the organs, resulting death. See Professor Deloy Cahill. If you want me to read the whole thing, I ain't gonna need the entire blog here. And there's that question. Is the COVID-19 Health Responsible Act 2020 legislations like the Adolf Hitler 99 Street and the Alien Act, which allows him to take control of Nazi Germany? See, that was back in 1933 when Hitler pretty much passed it in the Alien Act. I haven't read it yet, but we should see if it really does compare. So people, let's move on to Australia. And yet, as Australian PC as MP is vaccinated as the one that began. It looks like that's just like it went wide in. The needle would be like that deep there. I don't think there was a needle on it. Or what is that yellow thing? Maybe it was a cap still on. I'm still a bit skeptical of this image though, so people and yeah, and there's the vaccine part, there's the people who protest against the mandatory vaccination, but they call it the anti-vaxxers, but they just don't want mandatory vaccination, just like me. I don't want mandatory vaccination. For me, I'm pro-choice. If I do want to get vaccinated, that's also my choice. But if I do not want to get vaccinated, that's also my choice. However, it should never be forced upon you. Never. It should be always the people's choice. Always. Let's see what this video is about. Let's see it. Gosh. Oh. Oh.
I don't care. You want the vaccine? Take the vaccine. But don't force me to take it.
Oh, gosh. And looks like that's it, people. And man, that clash with police using pepper spray. Wow, good grief. Wow. Well, at least those people in Australia are standing out and saying, no, we do not want mandatory. They just don't want mandatory, that's all. Well, folks, people, if you do want to get vaccinated, that's also your choice. But if you also do not want to get vaccinated, that's also your choice as well. But the government should not force it upon us. And we do have to be, and just in the iTunes saying that, oh, we're not going to make it compulsory. I know that's not going to be the case because she's going to try and make it compulsory. We just see what we just saw in the news article. Why workers are forcing, why they're workers forcing, like, staffs, why the businesses are forcing their staffs to get vaccinated as well, like in high risk places, like services. No, not business services like health work, border workers and that, why they're being forced to take the jab. And if they refuse, they lose the job. People, this just doesn't smell right, people. And we got to stand up against that madness and against this insanity. And also boycott any businesses or any services that actually fires workers or won't let people be employed if they don't get the jab. People, man, and I think this is all I gotta say for now. I probably will see you on the next blog. It's Matthew Miller, signing off, over and out.